Yes, again, my same question. My PPT is visible. Anybody unmute and tell me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. Now, in the last lecture, we were seeing that the various construction equipment, right? So we have hauling and transportation material. We required certain equipment, modern equipment. Then also we required certain equipment for excavation and for transportation and lifting of earthwork from the mine or from the any site up to your construction site. We required certain equipment. Then we also required certain equipment for concreting work. Then we also required certain equipment for material handling and erections. Then we required certain equipment for dewatering and pumping equipment. So these are the modern equipment generally we required at the construction site. So for the purpose of handling and transporting materials, these are the some of the equipment we required: the trucks or the highway for the purpose of transportation of material from a mine or from any suppliers up to your construction site. Then if you want to supply the ready mix concrete, so this TM machine will require. Then for finishing the surface, road surface or any site surface, we require these machines. This is you can say the loaders, uh, chain loaders. Then this is a tire loaders for lifting of certain materials. Then this is the a JCB. This is a multi-purpose. You can see the machinery for lifting and excavation of certain kinds of works on the site. And for compaction, this roller we required. Then this is a tractor. So generally, in today's lecture, we are going to see these machinery in details. Means the capacity of this machinery, their net production, then what are the advantages and disadvantages, and their hiring charges also, and the net cost of this particular equipment on a particular site. Now, in the last lecture also, this is the brief recall of our third lectures. This is a dump truck, and this truck is used to transport a heavy materials, or you can see the aggregate, fine aggregate, sand, or even the bricks from a particular site up to your construction site with the help of the road connectivity. So, particularly, we are interested to know the hiring charges for this particular truck or highway or dumper even. How much cost we can pay for particular truck to hire for a particular site, and if you want to uh, 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 bring the particular coarse aggregate also seen in the last lecture this handling and transporting material. So the time required by a truck for transportation of material, for example, if you transport the material from a suppose your site, your mine, or from the suppliers, how much time it will take. So that is depends upon these four factors. That is the loading. If you want to load the material at the supplier or at the mine itself, or from where you can brought the material up to your site, that is the loading will be there. After loading, the actual distance will covered by a particular machinery, or you can say truck, from the site up to your site. So loading and unloading, whatever may be the time we required for loading and unloading, this time is very important as far as concerned with the cost point of view. Then see here another important definition, that is cycle time. Cycle time means it is the time in between loading and unloading. So whatever may be the time it will take in between that, we called it as a cycle time. So that time will again depends upon the speed of the vehicle and the distance traveled, right? For example, the speed of the vehicle is 30 km per hour or 40 km per hour, then ultimately the cycle time will reduce and the distance traveled. For example, for 30 km, if the distance is in between the loading and your construction site, so that will again a important factor for the cycle time. Again, the speed depends upon the condition of the vehicle. The old vehicle is there or a new vehicle. Then also the traffic congestion and the condition of the road. The condition of the road. It is a flexible pavement. Flexible means it is made up of with the help of pavement, with the help of bitumen, and the rigid pavement means it is made up of with the help of concrete. So the condition of the road plays an important role for the reducing the cycle time, and other factors also. Other factor means the environmental conditions. If the rainfall will be there, then ultimately the speed of the vehicle will reduce, and that's why the cycle time will increases. So as the cycle time increases, the time taken by a vehicle to reach up to your construction site is the maximum. So these are the things we have seen in the last lectures. Then again, we have to determine this cycle time and the production rate. What is production rate here? The number of unit of work produced by a unit of equipment or a person in a specified unit of time. So how much work is carried out by a particular machinery or particular persons within a particular given time duration. Suppose for example, the daily time for working hours is 7 hours or 8 hours, for example. So how much work it will done for that particular time, that is known as the production rate of that machine or person. We have to consider the unit for production rate is meter cube per hour. So the unit of time usually we have taken into consideration hour. Then the production rate will be maximum. When it is maximum, if the work is performed at the same rate during the whole hours. But this is not possible due to interruption and delays. So as a machine or worker may work only for 45 minutes in 1 hour. This is the actual fact. Suppose in 1 hour you have to consider only 45 minutes actual work efficiency. So actual production rate is 45 divided by 60, that is 0.75. So, and again we have in the last lecture seen one example. Suppose if you want to transport 175 ton of sand with a density of 1.75 ton meter cube, then the total distance for transportation of this particular sand is 7 km, and using a 10 meter cube capacity truck. So in this we require two laborers and one driver, right? So that three laborers carries this work with a rate of 1.5 meter per hour, and the distance in between the that site from where you can bring that material up to your actual construction site is 30 km per hour, and the return speed is 40 km per hour, and it takes 3 minutes to unload the truck. And also the data required for this particular problem is the cost of the truck. So if you want to hire a particular truck for a particular day, so it will approximately you will require 2546 per day, and if you want to calculate this cost in per hour, then divided by 7. 7 is the actual working hours in a day, so divided by 7. So if you want to calculate this cost per hour, then it will be 367.71 per hour. So if you want to hire a truck per hour, then you have to pay 367.71 per hour. And if you want to hire a driver for a particular day, so you have to pay 600 per day. And if you want to calculate the driver cost per hour, then divided by 7. What is this 7? 7 is a working hours in a day. So approximately 85.71 per hour is the cost we have to pay for the driver itself, and for a particular labor we have to pay 500 per day. And if you want to calculate the labor cost per hour, then it will be 71.42 per hours. Then the actual working time is only 45 minutes in 1 hour, and in this we have calculated the total time, total cost, and cost per unit of transportation of sand. And almost all the solutions we have seen in the last lectures. So in the last lecture we have calculated the total time, then total cost of the constructions, right, and cost per unit, and we have also comment on the these particular things, on this particular problem, and we have comment the two conclusion from that problem. The load time, the loading time means we have to, when we are going to load with the help of manual, so how much time it will take. Suppose if you want to load the sand or brick or even the coarse aggregate into a truck, so if you want to load that by manually, so how much time it will take? It will take 2.2 hours. So it is greater than the travel and dam time, means empty time. Empty time is 0.46 hour, which indicate an imbalance in between loading and hauling. So the loading time can be reduced by using a tractor loaders. So by using machinery for loading, if you use instead of labor, then ultimately we can reduce the loading time, right? So this is the comment we have made from that particular problems. Now in the today's lecture we are going to learn the planning of the equipment. So the planning of the equipment plays a crucial role in case of your construction site. Suppose if you want to build your dam also, even any type of civil engineering project, the project may be the highway, or even the project may be the railway also, or even the bridges or flyovers, or any type of building if you want to construct. So we have to coordinate with the all the, you can say, the engineers. You have to maintain a coordination in between that engineers, and you have to plan what are the various type of equipment generally be required for a particular construction site, because the cost is plays an important role for that particular project. So the coordination in between various persons is required while planning the equipment. So we have to consider various factors before selecting the equipment for construction. So the first factor is use of equipment available with the organization. So first factor we have to consider. Then second factor, suitability for job condition with spatial references to climatic and operating condition. For example, if you want to hire the equipment for a apartment, construction of the apartment, so which factor you should be considered? So that again a thinking matter. So how much column will be there, how much excavation per hour we have to do. So lot of factor we have to consider while selecting of the equipment. Then uniformity of type, then the size of the equipment, then use of standard equipment, then country of origin, then unit cost of production, then availability of spare parts and selection of manufacturers, then suitability of local labor and operations. So while selecting an equipment, we have to consider these factors. Then for earthwork equipment, so these are the different these are the equipment we have to use for the earthwork. Wheel loader, then another type of the earthwork equipment, that is backhoe, then excavator, then scraper, motor girder, rollers, and dam truck. So these are the equipment we have to use for the earthwork. Then what are the various, you can say, the equipment which perform excavation, digging of large quantity of earth, moving them to a particular distance, then placement, then compacting, then leveling, then dosing, grading, hauling, etc. are called as earth moving equipment. So with the help of earthwork equipment, we can uh, excavate a particular foundation. Then if you want to dig a ditch also, we have to use the earthwork moving equipment. Then for compaction also, for leveling also, and for filling of the material from one place to another place, so we can use the earthwork equipment. So first equipment is wheel loader. So this wheel loader is used particularly for small excavation as well as lifting of material from one place to another place. So if you see the construction features or the working principle of this wheel loader, it has a boom, two type of boom, BOOM boom. Boom means a pipe, hydraulic pipe. This is one of the pipe and this is another. And at the end of this two boom or two pipe, there is a you can see the bucket. So the capacity of buckets again depends upon the net quantity we have to excavate at the actual construction site. You can change this type of bucket. Uh, uh, this bucket is available in various sizes. In the next slide, you can see here excavation and lifting of loose material. For example, here excavation of smaller areas such as basement, footing and trenches. So with the help of this type of wheel loader, we can excavate the basement or even footing or trenches. Then another uses of this particular wheel loader is preparing the job site, carrying heavy loads and backfilling ditches, or even for moving the materials from one place to another place, right? The selection of this type of particular machinery, wheel loader, is depends upon type and volume of material being handled. So which type of material? It is a aggregate, uh, fine aggregate or coarse aggregate, or it is a boulder. So that depends upon, and the volume of material, how much quantity of material we have to uh, 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 take from this particular place up to another place. So that is depends upon the selection of this particular depends upon these two important parameter, type and volume of material being handled. Then bucket capacity, the capacity of this bucket means how much material we have to lift in a particular bowl or particular bucket. So bucket capacity is generally available in between 1.5 to 10 meter cube. The capacity of this bucket is 1.5 to 10 meter cube. For example, uh, the bucket capacity if is in between 0.764 to 2.867 meter cube, then the cycle time will be 0.45 to 0.50 minutes, right? What is cycle time? The time in between filling of this material in this bucket and loading this bucket, loading and unloading. For example, if you fill this bucket with the help of this sand, and if you damp this bucket in the truck or in another place, so whatever may be the time taken in between loading and unloading, that time is known as cycle time. So this type of equipment will take if the bucket capacity is in between 0.764 to 2.867 meter cube. So cycle time will be 0.45 to 0.50, and if the bucket capacity is in between 3.05 to 4.20 meter cube, then definitely the cycle time will be 0.50 to 0.55 minutes. So the cycle time is very important to carry out our actual construction cost. And if you want to reduce the actual construction cost, you have to taken into consideration this cycle time. So cycle time plays an important role while unloading and loading the particular material. So this is a usage of this wheel loader to lift the particular material and to transport this material from this side to this side, or even loading of this material into the truck or any tractor trolley. So this is the about the small thing, you can say wheel loader. Then this table is very important as far as engineering point of view. We are knowing that the various types of machinery, but if you see the data which is given in this particular table, what is this particular table says that bucket fill factor for wheel loader. So what is a fill factor? Fill factor is uh, the factor which maintain the balance between the loading and unloading time. So for example, loose material, mix moist aggregate, then the wheel load factor is in between 0.95 to 1. So while manufacturing, the manufacture of this machine is done with the help of mechanical engineer. So this factor is used by the mechanical engineer while uh, uh, manufacturing of this machine. Particularly this machine is used for the lifting purpose and a small excavation purpose. So mechanical engineer think about those applications and they maintain the load factor 0.95 to 1. So uniform aggregate up to 1 by 8 inches, the load factor is 0.95 to 1. If the uniform aggregate is the size 1 by 8 to 3 by 8 inches, then the load factor is in between 0.90 to 0.95, and if the aggregate size is half to 3 by 4th inch, then we have to consider the load factor 0.85 to 0.90, and in case of 1 inch and over, the load factor is 0.85 to 0.90. And in case of blasted rock, well blasted, we have to maintain 0.80 to 0.95 wheel load factor. Then for average blast rock 0.75 to 0.90, and for poor 0.60 to 0.75. And other type of you can see the work rock dirt mixture 1 to 1.20, and moist loam sand or moist loam soil. So the load factor is 1 to 1.10, and for any type of soil 0.80 to 1. So this is the bucket fill factor for wheel loader. Then uh, the first example, this example is very important, and we are going to solve this example. The first example is based upon the net production rate. So what is the net production rate per hour of for a 1.9 cubic meter wheel loader if the bucket capacity is 1.9, and for loading moist loom, if you want to load the moist loom, so how much the net production rate for that particular machine if you want to load 1.9 meter cube of moist loom or moist soil, assume working condition. So we are going to see that problem with uh, DroidCam. So I want to share my DroidCam with all of you. So what is our problem generally? We, suppose 1.9, see here in this particular example, what is the net production rate per hour for a 1.9 cubic meter of wheel loader for loading moist loom? Assume average working condition. So the solution for this particular problem, see here, the maximum production rate per hour. We have to calculate maximum production rate per hour, right? Maximum production rate per hour means how much sand or moist loam soil lifted by that particular machine wheel loader in a 1 hour. So how to calculate that? We have a formula, bucket capacity into bucket fill factor into 60. What is this 60? 1 hours. So how much